Welcome to this week's episode of The Better Half. I'm Kyndra de St. Aubin. This is Katy Hartley, and we're going to take a look back at what's been going on this week.
Well, Kyndra, Camp Cardinals is upon us. The guys are reporting up to Flagstaff. Lots of storylines to talk about here. We'll start with one about Adrian Wilson restructuring his contract with the Arizona Cardinals, taking a pay cut, which is seriously unheard of these days. Kyndra, what do you think? Are you impressed?
I am very impressed with Adrian Wilson. Actually, that any athlete would do it in this day and age. But to be honest with you, being around Adrian Wilson, he really comes off with all that swagger and kind of cockiness whenever you're around him. I was a little shocked that he said, I want to finish my career as an Arizona Cardinal, willing to restructure his deal and take a significant pay cut to stay here through 2015. So very impressed. I think it was a great way to get Cardinals camp off on the right foot, because usually when we start camp, it's about guys holding out, guys not showing up. You know, some of the rookies, maybe their deal's not getting signed, you know, when you come in as a rookie and not getting your deal signed, not being out there to practice. But I think the Cardinals camp, good start with Adrian Wilson signing. On
the surface, it's impressive, but he can make most of that money back with incentives. So I'm not like giving it 2 thumbs up. I guess good job. Just
one up, one down.
Yeah, as long as he's not on another episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, then I think he's doing a good job. But how about the Beanie Wells, Ryan Williams kind of competition we've got going here? Lots of different reports about each of them.
Well, not only that, but how about Beanie Wells being put on the PUP list and not even passing his physical? I think I personally, if I was a fan, I would be worried about Beanie Wells right now, because he only supposedly had a scope of the knee, and that was 6 months ago. I saw him at OTAs. He couldn't even walk right without a major limp. So I think fans should be worried, but luckily for them, they could get Ryan Williams back at full strength. Do you think that's going to be key?
Well, and I think it's funny what we're hearing about both of these guys. Beanie Wells reports saying Kent Summers said that he had to be prodded. And Ryan Williams, on the other hand, Darren Urbans, I think, said that he wanted to be irreplaceable. So it just kind of shows where these two guys are at. I hope that Beanie Wells can be healthy for most of the season. I hope he gets to take the majority of the runs this year. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Ryan Williams, I'd like to see him come back and be able to maybe even split some of the reps with Beanie. We'll see.
Oh, the best of both worlds would be to have both of them healthy and on the field.
Definitely. Well, let's move on to the Penn State scandal that we've seen the sanctions being handed down to them. A 4-year bowl ban, $60 million in fines, a reduction in scholarships, vacating all the victories from 1998 up until 2011. Some say it's not fair to players. Some say it wasn't enough. Kyndra, what do you say?
Well, first of all, I think I was happy that the NCAA got involved. I know that was a big controversy, especially on Doug and Wolf, you know, earlier this week, that they said, you know, they didn't think the NCAA, this wasn't in their boundaries. They shouldn't be involved in this. But in my opinion, this falls under, you know, lack of control for the student body and for the athletes in general, just lack of control in that program. I think this falls under it, and I think I like the punishment. I really like them vacating the wins, because I know Joe Paterno is long gone. He passed away, but the fact that he is now not the leader, I think that really puts a black mark on not only his coaching career, and I think that's what he deserves, because the buck basically stopped with him. Aside from Sandusky, the buck stopped with Joe Paterno.
Sure, and I think that this is the NCAA making a statement. I think this is them coming out and saying that this was unacceptable. I don't think that there's any way to qualify or quantify what happened in that locker room and on that campus. But I do think that the NCAA had to do something. I think they did have to get involved. I don't think that anyone wanted it to come to this, but I think it would have been worse if they hadn't done anything.
And they would have been criticized for that too. I mean, I think they were going to be in the wrong regardless. And how about people yesterday, some people in Penn State, comparing it to 9/11? Saying this is their 9/11. I mean, seriously, who doesn't want to punch those people? It makes me want to vomit.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that we can. This is just one of those steps that we have to take to move forward and move past
Get a grip.
so that these people can heal. You know, there's a lot of healing that still needs to go on at that campus, and so I hope that this is one of those steps in that direction. Well, let's move on to some news with the Diamondbacks trading Ryan Roberts. He's now in Tampa Bay, and the Diamondbacks making some other moves. Kyndra, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, I like the guy that they got in exchange for Roberts. It was funny because Kevin Towers started out saying that he is basically a Ryan Roberts but younger. You know, very similar playing style, all that. But I think that they'll have a little more control over him. He'll start in AAA Reno. I like the move. I mean, you could kind of see that Ryan Roberts was the odd man out. They got rid of Jeff Blum at third base as well, but with the other middle infielders they have. But what I really liked about this whole trade deadline, approaching, is what Kevin Towers said about Justin Upton and Stephen Drew. We are still in win mode, and they haven't gotten any phone calls, according to Kevin Towers, that would make them better in 2012. So he said, we are still in win mode, and until we get an offer that makes us better right now, we're not going to ship any of those guys out.
Yeah, I like the move. I think the Ryan Roberts move, in conjunction with all the other moves that the Diamondbacks are making right now, makes me think that this team wants to win right now. They're not setting themselves up for seasons to come. They are trying to make the postseason right now, and that's what I like to see. It gets me fired up. I'm sure it gets the team fired up. So hopefully we can see this team kind of turn things around. Last topic, Kyndra, the London Olympics kicking off this week. I am excited about this. I get jacked up about the Olympics. Are you going to watch?
I'm definitely going to watch. I'm not one of those people that it's like appointment television. Like I look up the Olympic schedule, and except for maybe women's soccer and the soccer in general. I mean, unfortunately, the men didn't make it. I mean, don't get me started on the U.S. men's team and how awful they are. But so that might be the only appointment television for me, or maybe like Michael Phelps when he's swimming against Ryan Lochte. There's so much been hype around that. But I love the Summer Olympics. I think it'll be great to watch. Do you like set your DVR for it or sit down for the opening ceremonies?
Yeah, I mean, I like the opening and closing ceremonies. I think it's always interesting to see kind of what's done in each country and whatnot. I think it's a great chance for people to be patriotic and to kind of come together. We've had a lot of sad stuff happen in the news lately, so I'm just excited to see people come together, countries come together, and have a good time.
And you know what I love, too, is opening ceremonies when you get that country that has, like, one person or a country that's maybe been, not a third world country, but that's been suppressed, and that people are just so excited, so happy to be there and represent their country. I think that's really cool when Olympians don't lose sight of the fact that they're representing their country, and this is a big deal.
Absolutely, and I'll definitely be following it on Twitter. You can follow her on Twitter at Kyndra620. You can follow me at FunKatie620, and we'll see you next week for another webisode of The Better Half.